has a 311 app? You can report any non-emergency request right from your smartphone. Need help dealing with unfair landlords? Use the app.
Girl, I just don't understand. I'm paying rent, and my landlord isn't fixing any of the issues in this apartment. What should I do?
You know you can report it on the Gary 311 app. Do you have it?
What's that?
Let me show you. Just go to your app store.
Or maybe you need to request the birth certificate.
Yeah, I can't find my birth certificate.
Oh, it probably just got misplaced during the move. Actually, we can request a new one through the Gary 311 app.
Okay. New technology. I'm in.
Let me show you.
And guess what? You can even report illegal dumping.
Look at him! That's dumping his garbage on private property.
Well, caught him in 4K. You know we can report him on the Gary 311 app and to GPD's Taste and Tip?
That's good.
Never feel frustrated again about an issue. Use the Gary 311 app to report all your non-emergency needs. It's a free application that allows users to report community issues, pinpoint the location with GPS, attach photos, and more. All right from your smartphone. Download the Gary 311 app today. Available on iOS and Android.
Get ready for a big adventure. Touch a Truck is coming soon. This interactive event lets kids and kids at heart get up close and personal with the trucks, equipment, and vehicles that keep our community moving. Bring the whole family and get ready to climb aboard.
Then join us as we honor freedom and culture at our Juneteenth celebration, happening June 21st at the Westside Theater Guild. Come out for a day of music, remembrance, and community pride.
This is our infant classroom, and you just can't go by without looking at the baby.
We're here to talk about something that truly shapes the future of our city, and that's early childhood education.
All the curriculum is active and excites children about problem solving and learning.
Today, what we were able to witness is the greatness of Gary and the greatness of Head Start coming together.
We know that the success of our children directly influences the success of our city.
In order to create big projects and deliver for Northwest Indiana, we have to have and must have an educational workforce to be able to fill those jobs.
We're laying a foundation for stronger families, a stronger economy, and a stronger Gary, Indiana for generations to come. This isn't just about education. It's about building a stronger community. When we invest in our children, we invest in our community.
Those students who have that early investment or intervention have a greater outcomes to be successful.
Let's celebrate America's birthday, the Gary way. Our 4th of July parade rolls out July 3rd at 5 p.m., bringing excitement, community spirit, and plenty of red, white, and blue to the streets. And don't rush off. After the parade, head over to the Railcat Stadium for fireworks at 6:30 p.m.
Then, gear up for a new school year at our Back to School Fest, hosted by First Lady Crystal Melton and the City of Gary. Join us August 2nd at the Gary Railcat Stadium from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Get ready for free haircuts, free immunizations, free uniform vouchers, and exciting giveaways, from backpacks and sneakers to gift cards and more. Plus, enjoy food, fun activities, music by DJ All Out, and free transportation provided by GPTC. Don't miss this incredible day of preparation and celebration as we send our students back to school in style.
just learned from the city of Gary that they activated their emergency response.
But right now, the trees is the biggest issue. General Services is out moving those trees in the streets. A lot of trees have fell on homes and cars. So it's kind of like a recovery effort right now.
So what we do know is that citizens in this neighborhood have identified and verbally articulated that they see a tornado that did touch ground in Gary. Multiple homes and businesses sustained wind damage and flooding, as well as numerous trees and limbs down throughout the entire city. Our general service team, we've been working very closely with our utility company, with NIPSCO. We do know that
the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission is now called to order. Will we have roll call, please?
School Board Representative Johnson. Let the record show that he is not present at this time. Commissioner Wesson.
Here.
Commissioner Rogie.
I'm here.
Commissioner Dunham. Present. Commissioner Clemens. Here. And President Stalling.
Present. Before we move along the agenda, we'll be moving on to public comments on agenda items only, but I would just like to take this time to welcome Councilman Kenneth Wissington to the Redevelopment Commission. Based on how he's been serving and what I've observed and what I've heard, he's done a great job as the councilman at large. He's the councilman's appointee, and we look forward to working with him in the next year. And I just wanted to say welcome, sir. All right. Public comments on agenda items. Do we have anyone signed up to speak today, Mr. Mark? No one's signed to speak.
Mr. President, we don't have a sign-in sheet, so it's
Okay.
just as in anyone who wants to speak.
At this particular time, is there anyone here that I would like to speak on agenda items and agenda items only? Now is that time. If not, we will move it. Oh, I'm sorry. We have one? Okay. We will now move on to agenda item number 4, which was the approval of the agenda.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept today's agenda. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? If not, roll call, please.
Councilman Wissington.
Yes.
Commissioner, my apologies. Commissioner Rogie.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham.
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens. And President Stalling.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Agenda item number 5, the approval of last meeting's minutes. The chair will entertain a motion for the approval of last meeting's minutes.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
It has been moved and properly second that we accept the approval of last month's meeting minutes. Roll call.
Commissioner Wissington.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham.
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens. And Commissioner Stalling.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Agenda item number 6, the approval of claims. The chair will entertain a motion for the approval of the claims, outstanding claims on the agenda packet.
This is right here.
There it goes. Okay.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second the approval of claims. Are there any questions or comments from any commissioners?
I just want to say that the Finance Committee did meet last week, and we did look at these claims.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dunham. Thank you very much. That's so important. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wesson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham?
Yes.
Commissioner Clements? Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving along the agenda, we are at item number 7, which is the presentations. We have 3 presentations today, and our first presentation will be brought to us by the Gary Arts Council, Ms. McKenya Dilworth-Smith.
Thank you for putting that Smith to it.
No problem.
Thank you. That keeps my household happy.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I want to say good afternoon and thank you for this opportunity to come before the Redevelopment Commission. My name is McKenya Dilworth-Smith, and while I am in front of you, we are well supported. Would you please raise your hand of the Gary Arts Council members present? Yes. Many members, one mission. And so the Gary Arts Council is truly an organic grassroots organization, albeit that it did stem from the transition of the Melton Transition Arts and Culture team. And so we took it upon ourselves to move forward with the Gary Arts Council. And our mission is to, thank you so much, I didn't know I was gonna have help, is to fund, support the existing arts and cultural entities within the city of Gary, as well as strengthening them through the arts infrastructure, and more importantly, really highlight and contribute to what we call the creative economy. So we have a promo that is something that we're not going to play right now because it's going to take up a little bit of our time, but we wanted to focus on the creative economy and to let you know what we bring to the table. The Gary Arts Council consists of members, DK Devils, the Morning Bishop Theater Playhouse, Unity of Purpose, the Gary International Black Film Festival, individual artists such as Karina Mitchell, Ish Muhammad, Tina's Legacy, Gate Theater, and the list goes on and on. The reason that's important is because we are existing arts and cultural organizations within the city who have been providing very necessary arts and cultural activities in the city. That is important because the quality of life, as you all know, is very important, and this provides a high quality of life. One of the ways we would like to interact with you as a commission, and certainly with the Department of Redevelopment, is with the downtown activation sites. As such, we are already in talks of bringing plays and artistic services to the Genesis Towers. We've already had an event at the Railcat Stadium. We are going to have an event next month, June 20th. It's going to be Race for the Arts. Race for the Arts is something that I encourage you all to be a part of as a team. You could be a community member team, which is $50 because you know the revolution must be financed. And then we have corporate sponsorships as well. And so what this Race for the Arts is, it's really a hybrid of a scavenger hunt meets and marries the Amazing Race. We have 3 locations, one being the Railcats, where you would get your registration and you'll get everything you need to be successful in the race. You're going to be confronted with 10 artistic challenges as well as trivia based on the arts and cultural activity organizations there. Then, once you have completed your artistic challenges and your trivia, you will advance. Well, you have to complete it by first hashtag Gary Arts Council, hashtag downtown. And then you race to Jay's Breakfast Club, where you're confronted with a whole slew of challenges there. And then we end with DNK Soul Food. Now, what is the common denominator there? Businesses, Broadway, businesses. Arts and cultural organizations, we bring people together. We build bridges, we don't erect walls. And that is why we're here standing before you today, to ask for your help financially. And when I say financially, we're saying come and be a part of Race for the Arts so you can actually see what all of these different respective arts organizations have done and have been doing within the city of Gary. The reason 40 is significant is because we have 2 organizations within our body who have reached that ripe age of 40 years old. The Morning Bishop Theater Playhouse turned 40 last year, and the Gary Historic, yeah, that deserves a hand clap. You know how hard it is in Gary. And the Gary Historical and Cultural Society is 49 years old. Yes. And so we look forward to the partnership. One of our members is Ish Muhammad, who will be talking with you, I think, later on. Maybe, yes, no, maybe so. But nevertheless, Ish Muhammad is a very successful artist, along with a number of different artists. And then, of course, another one of our members is DK Devils, which is responsible for the I Love Gary statue that has become increasingly popular. These are all things that we talk about when we talk about the creative economy. And so we are here to say that we are in alignment with this administration, and we would like you to know that we are going to be a part of downtown Gary activation, and we're also going to be presenting a whole arts and cultural plan that we hope is all the way at the bottom. Arts and cultural plan, where we want to activate our programs such as Art Space. Yeah, keep going. Because what I want you to see is that all of these different organizations bring people together. So Art Space is our initiative where we want to put our local artists' work in local businesses, governmental entities, and that type of thing, because our overarching goal is to make arts a daily thing. Yeah, right there is just fine, right? Something that we ingest daily. Now, right, what you're looking at right there is something that I want you to anticipate coming to your mail very soon, because we have identified properties on Etna Street that are owned by you that we would like to acquire so that we can renovate it and it becomes a community arts training center. And why is that important? It's important because of the proximity we have to the city of Chicago that has a very thriving theater district, a very thriving arts district where we can train our young people and train people of all ages to actually go into union jobs in the city of Chicago. And they can and their training ground can be right here in the city of Gary. So we are also launching what we call Arts Pharmacy. It's not what we call Arts Pharmacy, but this is something that gained tremendous traction during the pandemic. And this is basically the medical community and the arts community came together and said, you know what? The physician says that you have migraines, but really what you're suffering from is isolation. So we are going to be the first arts organization in the state of Indiana that actually engages the medical community, hospitals, and other facilities such as that will go beyond arts therapy, but we will be working hand in hand with physicians who will prescribe not only medication, but also arts workshops as a way to improve the quality of life of people here. Again, in closing, I would urge you to be a part of Race for the Arts, which is Friday, June 20th from 3 to 6. Our first location is going to be at the Railcat Stadium. And there, I'm telling you, this is going to be a fun-filled, engaging, high-powered, high-energy activity where you can actually learn about the plethora of activities surrounding the arts and culture here in the city of Gary. Are there any questions? Okay, well, can I do that? Okay, no. Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. Real quick, the date for the Railcats?
So the date for the Race for the Arts is Friday, June 20th. Friday, June 20th, and 3 to 6. Thank you so much. And you can register, Mr. Rogan, I need you to write it down. You can register through www.garyarts.org. And it will lay out the entire race, how you can be a part of it, how you all as a commission can be a community team. And it's only for the low, low price of $50. I know somebody has $50 somewhere. All right. In the audience too. All right. We've got some support. So that's Friday, June 20th, 2025, Race for the Arts. The first location, Railcat Stadium. You can go to www.garyarts.org and get all the information you need from there.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? Commissioner Wesson?
Thank you so much. Job well done.
Thank you, I appreciate
Huge
it.
support of the arts. My mom went to Emerson, so she's, yeah, especially in this area. But my question is, if you were to acquire the property, looking at both these locations, where would you get the capital to redevelop these properties?
So we're in talks with Fifth Third Bank right now because of their redevelopment, their commitment and social commitment to the community. So we're in talks with Fifth Third because we have many of our arts organizations have a long-standing relationship with that particular bank. We're looking to Horizon as well because they seemingly have a good relationship as it relates to redevelopment and that type of thing. So that's where we would get, hopefully and prayerfully get the capital for that. We're also in talks with some local construction companies that have potentially pledged to promise, that's a lot of alliteration there, to give us in-kind services once we acquire the property.
The reason I was just asking, I was the director of the CDC for Horizon Bank when I was there about 4 years ago. They have a timing schedule, like similar to Fifth Third as well, and the capital stack. I'm just curious because most of those grants are up to like $50,000. Then they want you to apply for like a SBA or a portfolio loan with that. And looking at these renderings, I'm just guesstimating well over $100,000 for these properties to be remediated. So I was just curious if we were to give you these properties, what would be the next step? Would it be through council or another department into helping you fund this? But what if we were able to give you the properties but we can't help with the funding, then what?
So if you were to gift us, we're already in the process of trying to ascertain the capital.
Yeah.
So we moved along with the premise knowing that perhaps the capital wouldn't be there for this with the city. So we're already in talks with some philanthropists and foundations to ascertain those monies.
Well, if you need help with the local banks, just let me know.
Absolutely, and I'm telling you right now, we need help.
Okay, I got you.
So
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? If not,
One,
okay,
just
go
one.
ahead.
What was the piece you said we should be looking for in our mailboxes? What did you say you were mailing out? Did you say that?
A formal letter to try to ascertain these properties.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
And also the ask for the community team, $50.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
All
There's
right.
not any other questions?
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you. Our next presentation will be done by Brightview Landscaping, Pam Self or Jamie Wallace. Absolutely, if you have them available. Thank you. Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm James Carroll. Yeah, all right. Jamie had a family emergency, so he couldn't make it, but I'm James Carroll with Pamela Self Landscape Architecture with Pamela Self. We worked with Brightview to develop some concepts for improvements in the historic downtown Gary corridor of Broadway between 4th Street and 9th Street. Can we get the presentation up on the screen? Can we get the presentation up? For everyone else to see it. Thank you. All right. Yes. So we worked with Brightview, and ideas on how to improve some of the landscape and streetscape of Broadway between 4th Street and 9th Street. And if the next slide shows what we initially started on, which was what we know best, really, is the trees. And Brightview had presented a tree survey, which found that there were 31 trees either missing from the street tree planters or dying. And that some of that includes Stumblebum Park. And we found that a lot of the trees are either 99% of the trees are honey locusts and 1% are Bradford pears. Both of those are very resilient street trees, but we find that in order to kind of bring more biodiversity to downtown Gary and also some aesthetic variation, we decided to look at expanding the street tree palette using some other resilient trees that could provide some fall color variety, some spring flowering, and some different kind of biodiverse or environmental ecosystem services to the community. And we essentially looked at what street tree pits of mostly 3 tree groupings were missing trees, and decided to stick to one type of tree per street tree pit in order to kind of to avoid things looking kind of chaotic or willy-nilly, and having kind of a sequence or strategy to the street tree plantings. So if you go to the next slide, it is showing the kind of long-term strategy for spreading out the variety of trees over time as some of the honey locusts die and need to get replaced. So this is kind of the rule that we followed in order to kind of have a long-term plan for the plantings along Broadway. And then the next slide shows what we would go to next, which was looking at the understory plantings using resilient, well-vetted species of perennials, allium, nepeta, daffodils, and calamint. All of these are well suited for street trees, especially in our region that gets abused by a lot of street salt for snow cleanup. But these plants are well adapted to those conditions. So we have basically a design for the smaller street tree planters there are 3 of them total, and then the 14 larger 3 tree planters. And we have basically a larger quantity total for these plants. For all of these plant quantities, the soil in these tree pits would have to be amended. So we worked with Brightview on how to quantify the soil volume of that would be required for amending that soil in order to plant some of these plants. Then moving on to kind of more site furnishing, we looked at other ways to provide annual plantings using planter pots. These are 2 styles that we looked at. One is basically a strengthened concrete. The other one is fiberglass. Both of them are pretty tough for streetscapes. And our strategy here was to provide a couple different add alternates. The first option would be to have just one large planter at each corner of the intersections of 4th to 8th Streets along Broadway. And then if budget allows, we could add medium and small size planters to provide some variety at additional locations, perhaps at the front entrances of businesses, bus stops, and other locations to provide some seasonal color along Broadway. So we have numbers for that as well. And the last option pretty much we have is looking at how to incorporate planters, hanging baskets along the renovations of the street lamps along Broadway, both the pedestrian lights and the vehicular lights. There is a plan to incorporate banners that would be provided separately, but we are working with Brightview to provide numbers for one option. What we would want is basically natural flowers with soil, but that requires a lot of maintenance, obviously, a lot of watering. So if that maintenance budget is a problem, we have an option for silk flowers that would provide the infrastructure initially for having the hardware and all of the infrastructure for providing silk or actual flowers down the line. So we have both of those options. And that pretty much sums up the design ideas that we have for this scope of work. And we worked with Brightview to get a budget together for all of these options. And Pam will speak to that.
Thank you. I'm Pamela Self. So, and we can go over questions after we go through this piece. So, the budget we were given was $150,000, and we believe most of what we've shown you will fit in that budget. The one piece that we removed, there's sort of 4 parts. So we have the trees and the new trees, removing the dead trees and that cost. We have the planter groupings at each intersection. We have the low beds that you have right out, they're 6-inch high concrete curbs that go down the street. That's another piece. And then we have the banners with the lights. So if we don't do all of the pruning and care on the existing trees and replace the trees that are dead or dying right now, we can get within that budget with just the one large planter at each intersection. And then what we're thinking is when we have the annuals and that pop of color, that the intersection is where it's going to do the most impact visually. So that's where we have either 4 large planters at every intersection or 12. Eventually we want 12 if we can do that. But right now we could start with that to be in budget. Why we had suggested the silk flowers that some communities are going to right now is in the hanging baskets. You can bring those out and have them out from May to October. Now, if the watering, if we have during July and August, that watering for those planters can be almost every day to keep those plants alive. So what our thought was possibly putting the silk flowers in for the first few years as the streetscape is being developed, work that into a budget, and then it's easy to switch. You still have the baskets, all of that's there. So you could switch then to live plants at some point. It's the same baskets, all of that. So those were some options that we had thought about to make sure we were within the budget. So I believe we were over our budget by about $50,000, and by taking out all of that work with the trees and the pruning and the care that those need, which possibly when we spoke with Public Works, with Rachel, they thought maybe they could work that into some of that work themselves. So that's where we thought that piece would be taken out. And as long as the trees that are dead are removed and replaced, most people won't notice that trees are not in the best condition, right? They need pruning, they need some things, but it won't detract too much from the streetscape. So I know we went through that quickly, but I always figure you have questions more than You want to listen to us talk. So the other thing that we had that we didn't show in this because this was about budget is we had also come up with sort of a, we wanted to have a collaboration with local artists. So this was perfect today because as we go down the streetscape, most people will notice where anywhere there's murals or art on plywood, boarded up windows, on sides of buildings, you know, other artists that might tag, leave that alone. The artists respect each other. So coming into the city, when you come off the expressway and all of the art that's under the viaduct, like we would love to see if you could have a contest with local artists, like submit your artwork, pick one of these boards or a side of a building, and there's so many artists that are up and coming that maybe aren't getting paid for their artwork and want to present it somewhere. And maybe it could be something where your, you know, the commission and your art council is looking through submissions and they're happy to put it up for free, right? Because they just want to have their work published somewhere. So, you know, because we don't have money to put that. But you know what I'm saying is some people do want to, we've done some different art projects, and people do want to, you know, if you think of the old movie theater, right? There's 8 foot by 10 foot, right?
I want to thank you for your presentation.
Oh, sorry.
And then you all can have an opportunity to talk to each other after the meeting. You all exchange it.
Yeah.
And
we
we'll
get
move
excited
forward.
about it.
Are there any questions or comments from any commissioner?
Any questions on that?
Mr. Wissington.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So I see the initial cost. You said $200,000 was reduced to $150,000, correct?
It was, a budget was 150 and
then the 150,
within budget.
that's with no pruning and no removal of the dead trees?
It's no pruning, it's replacing the dead trees.
Replacing, but no pruning. So by chance, you talked about the seasonality of this. Could you do a 5-year breakdown for us? Initial first-year costs. What it would cost for the ancillary equipment to go on the light poles, what it costs to do the initial tree planting and pruning, and then going forward, it would be easier for us on council to determine what the financial cost is going to be. If I could see the initial first year budget is $150, but going forward it's going to be $30,000 annually. That would make us, I'll just be honest with my colleagues, that would make more sense to us than looking at 150.
Okay.
Did we say, what's the impact that's going to be on the gentleman here and the workforce, and what's the impact it's going to have on the city going forward? Because we really, especially when it comes to budget year, we don't want to commit to something we don't know what's going to be annually. It's great to do for the first year, but can we maintain it? One of the biggest things from our critics is we do great things now, but we can't maintain the great work that we do. So it'd be great to see an initial figure and then at least project for the next 5 years what that would look like.
So the one thing is the trees, once they're installed, they're there. They'd have watering the first year, but then they shouldn't need any watering after that. And the perennials and the lower planters, same thing. Those are very drought tolerant, so the first year of maintenance, and then they should be established. It's the annuals at the corners and the hanging baskets. So yes, we can get that. We can put something together, send it to you that you can circulate.
Thank you very much.
And I'll ask Mr. Harris and his staff that when you get it all done, bring it to us. And once she gets everything that he requested, just bring it. Then we won't have to come in bits and pieces. Just bring it all together, and we can look at it and we move on from there. But thank you for your presentation. Excellent. All right. Thank you, commissioners, for your questions. Our last presentation for today is Love Your Block. Kiana Grant and Tierra Williams. Are they present? Oh, yes.
Hello. Sure, go ahead. Thank you so much. I just want to bring attention to my lovely assistant there. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vanna Brown. Please walk through. So, Love Your Block. This is a Love Your Block project. Scan here. That is actually going to be on the site of all of our Love Your Block projects as they are taking place. That way, as the projects are as they're coming along, people will be able to scan and they'll be able to sign up to volunteer. They'll also be able to get more information about Love Your Block. So what is Love Your Block? All right. Well, first I want to say thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate that. No. Okay, you can have a seat now. Thank you so much. This is a Love Your Block project. I thought that was great. You can see it from both sides. Okay, so Love Your Block is actually a project that, it's an initiative that was funded by Bloomberg, some of it. We do have room for more funding. In Midtown specifically, we have several projects that have, yay, McKenya is actually one of the people who is working on a project there. In Midtown, we are repurposing vacant lots that are city-owned. The people of Gary, the citizens, they could be from Glen Park, Midtown, Black Oak, they could be from anywhere, but they just had to have some type of interest in redeveloping, repurposing vacant lots. And this is dealing with beautification. So we are saying you can take a vacant lot and turn it into a park, you can turn it into a community garden, whatever you see fit. We had community conversations over the past couple months, and we passed out flyers, we canvassed neighborhoods, and we got a very good crowd. They came in and we facilitated that meeting to support them to understand we want you to think project, think of ways you can beautify your neighborhood. We wanted you to think team, think of who can help you beautify your neighborhood, and think location. So our locations were Midtown, Black Oak, and Glen Park, and we're focusing mainly on Midtown at this time. In Midtown, we have several projects where people have, like I said, come together, and in thinking team, we ask them to please leave the person that you came with and find the person that you have a passion project in common with. So we had things like, would you like to see a community garden? Would you like to see a playground? What would you like? And we had these posters all over the room, and we found that in doing that, people were able to have a sense of, I have this in common with my neighbor. So now, in building that, they came up with these projects, okay? Some of the projects that we have come up with, along 25th, in the spirit of that area is being redeveloped. There's a Benjamin Banneker Park. Thank you, Chris, my lovely assistant. I have several. We have Benjamin Banneker Park. And remember I said, these are citizens of Gary. These are people who you don't necessarily always see on the scene, because I'm running into the same people. But I have people who don't necessarily have a voice or feel they don't have a voice. They have been empowered through community, and they're saying, this is what we want to see. And not only do we want to see it, we'll help it come to fruition. We have things like Mystic Farms. They are doing their gardening, and they already had a garden there, and they want to redevelop it. And then we have, hold on just a moment, let me pull it up. I'm going to give you an idea of some of the projects that we have going on. The reactivation of the Benjamin Banneker Park, which is a beloved community asset that has been lost, because who knew that that's what it was? I didn't. And it took Chris, who has helped me by going through these projects or going through the locations and saying, hey, this is actually what this was, and then sharing that with the neighbors, and they're getting excited about the projects. So they're going to put a lovely park there with benches, and across the street, actually, we have the arts department, or an arts department. They're actually going to make another park across the street, making that a very walkable area for all of the neighbors. And that's another park. And then we also have some people who are trying to clean up Roosevelt Park and redo that basketball court. We also have at the Pyramids, which is a subdivision off 11th Avenue. They're going to paint a mural, and I'm so proud of the citizens of Gary, because they took this initiative. Like, we gave them the blueprint. We said, think team, think project, please come up with what it's going to take to get what you want into fruition. But we didn't just give them the information and then just send them on. For every unit of acts, there needs to be an equal measure of support. So we are supporting them. They went through Love Your Block University, which was held at IUN, a place that's usually intimidating to some people, but they came and they learned about what it would take for this, for their projects to come to fruition. And then on Friday, in the same spirit of support, we're going to teach them about canvassing those neighborhoods where those projects are happening, so they can get the people around there involved. We're also going to give them a survey so they can survey the people to see how was this before and how is it now. We're also, by canvassing, by activating those neighbors, that helps with sustainability. Let's see what else. Ooh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Give me just a second. Did you have any questions for me? Because that's pretty much Love Your Block. I have some people on this board who were actually at my Love Your Block meetings. Thank you so much for coming. But they were a great time. You saw the light bulbs go off. You saw people making connections that normally wouldn't be made. And you saw people come together over these passion projects, and they're excited about it. They're ready for that next step. I definitely need you guys for the next step.
Well, I have one question. I'm not sure about the commissioners, but we'll check them.
Yes.
What is it that you want the commission to help you with?
Absolutely. So the funding for Love Your Block, it's not a lot. We actually need some more funding in order to support these individual projects. We have about 6 projects that fall within the TIF area, and those are the projects that I just gave you information about.
Okay, well, I suggest they're good ideas. I just suggest that make sure you get everything to Chris and their department, and they're presented to us. And if there's anything that we can do that they suggest or anything we could do on our own, we will be willing to do it. Are there any other questions or comments from Commission? Thank you so much for your presentation, and you will be hearing from us.
Thank you for your willingness.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, Ms. Donald.
So if you had something in writing, like something that we could see, I would love to see it.
I absolutely do have something in writing and something for you to see. I will make sure I get that to you. I have all of our projects, the scope of the work, how we're partnering with the city, because it really is a collective effort. The city is supporting the neighbors are supporting each other. It's really great work. Okay. All right, thank you so much.
Commissioner Wesson.
Thank you so much, President. How much money was initially allocated for this project?
From whom are you asking?
No, for Love Your Block. When the initiative came out, I'm sure there had to be a dollar amount that says, I'm just speculating.
Mm-hmm.
When we go in the community and we say we're going to support the initiatives you have, I take it that we have a budget already solidified.
Yes, well, actually, through Bloomberg, we have about $20,000.
Okay.
We have 6 projects in the TIF. We have 22 projects altogether, and we are completely repurposing vacant lots into things that neighborhoods can actually use. $20,000 does not go that far.
No, it doesn't.
We've made some very good partnerships with with places like Home Depot. It really is the connections that are the resources. Bloomberg really just helps us to get the work off the ground, but we need more support.
Yeah, I'm just thinking going forward, we continue this program annually. We need to go into this project knowing, or at least understanding, that the community is going to respond.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're going into it with $20,000 for a city this size. To me, a budget should be allocated for at least $150,000, $200,000. So I'm not saying don't try your hardest, but some things I learned in business is give it all you got. And if something does happen till we get the funding through, that's how you come back the next year and say, we need to double it or we need to triple it. And you can get us on, end of the year for the budget.
I love that you said that. That is why I'm here today. Thank you so much it's called braiding funding. Thank you, Bloomberg, for your $20,000. It was great. I appreciate it. But also we have through redevelopment, we have through green infrastructure, through the city, the parks department, through, what's the other one called? Okay. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Just want to clarify. So in January, in our budget, we had allocated $100,000 to help support Love Your Block. The projects went through a vetting process with that team, and Love Your Block was here to be able to just give an introductory of where they are now in the process, and those specific projects will be able to be before the commission. So that's we allocated that in January.
Good.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, do you have any other comments about any of the presentations that were presented today?
Actually, there was just one more, Mr. Muhammad.
Okay, Mr. Muhammad can come forward right now with his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to officially introduce myself to the Redevelopment Commission and share a project that we got going on with the City of Gary, the Legacy Foundation, and Ish Muhammad Studio. So I'm a visual artist. I keep a studio in the Horace Mann community. We call it the Lovelace House. It's the house of my wife's grandmother. So when she passed, I turned it into, moved my studio from Chicago to Gary, and that's where I've been practicing and working out of. I'm an art activist. I work with groups to optimize public art efforts. Everybody's got good ideas, so I really work with groups to ensure that we meet their objective realistically. And I serve on several boards. I'm a council member of Gary Arts Council here, but represented well. I'm on the Lubiznik Center for the Arts, where I'm vice president of the board, and I lead the committee for the Arts Fest, which is the largest art fest in Northwest Indiana. So just a little bit about me. So once again, I want to introduce myself. This year, 2025, recently acquired by the Museum of Fine Arts Boston was one of my paintings, adding it to their permanent collection. So I just want to share that. It's a big milestone. And now I'm sharing some more images of work that I've done in Gary. If you've ever been to the NIPSCO Business Center to pay your bill or just talk to somebody to get some issues solved, there was a large mural, a 20-foot by 6-foot mural there called Magic City, and it had little landmarks of the city of Gary in this mural. In 2016, for the state of Indiana's bicentennial, we were invited, my art collective, Crazy Indiana Style Artists. We were acknowledged by the state of Indiana as being the first and the oldest Latinx art collective. So it's an honor. I just want to throw it up there. And it was shown, the show was shown at the Legacy Theater, which is the exhibition space that focuses on the African American experience. So we were super humbled and really appreciate the love that we got while we were there. Some of the ways I work with communities is Lake Effect in Miller Beach, Indiana. We met with the Miller Beach Arts and Creative District. At the time, the district was in place, but there was no real feeling that this was an arts district. So it took a couple of years, but finally we developed a good plan to create this outdoor exhibition where all the artists are painting improvisational, at full artistic license, and we laced the Miller Beach Lake Street with a lot of murals that if you go there now, some of them still remain. So we did this 2 years in a row, 2 times in a row. It's a biannual event. Okay. And this one's right here, right across the street. This is called A Brand New Day. This mural was dedicated to Patricia Lovelace, my wife's grandmother. She was my mentor. She was our marriage coach. And in the last years of her life, we had some heavy talks, She was ready. She knew the transition was coming, And so this mural, the colors, it's abstract, but what I really wanted to emphasize was her smile. So that's why you see the heart. And the yellow, that was the color of her living room. But it also represents a sorority she was very, very serious about. And all the other colors are just colors that were in her living room. She was a very colorful and energetic person. So I really wanted to make sure she had a good location. And at the Gary Sanitary District, we met with Dan Vicari, and he wanted to do something on the outside for the employees. So really it's enjoyed only by the people coming in and out of the Gary Sanitary District, but something that really spoke about the work that they do, which is reclaiming water and cleaning it up. So the title of this mural was Who Benefits First? And once they go through their whole process of cleaning the water, there's a discharge area on the northern part of the site. A great fishing spot, because it's clean water. But who benefits first is the nature in Northwest Indiana. Okay, so I'm excited to introduce for this year, 2025, working with the Legacy Foundation and the City of Gary. We're going to be putting up 3 murals, two on 25th and Broadway, and 1 on 8th and Broadway. So the first one that we're doing is right by the Coney Island, that wall right there, and it's called Songbird, and it'll be a portrait of Denise Williams. Yeah, the artist is Max Sansing. Max Sansing, he has family from Gary, so he jumped, internationally known artist, so he jumped on the opportunity to paint this mural. And I'm sure everybody remembers the Michael Jackson mural that was there, and the building got torn down, but we're bringing it back. So the artist, so the artist is coming back. So thank the City of Gary for finding the right property to have that scale, so that Felix Maldonado can go big once again. So many visitors to Gary took pictures by this mural. The Jacksons, Chuck D from Public Enemy, and the list goes on and on. I don't know if anybody's seen the documentary with Janet Jackson, and she shed a tear when she saw the mural. So we're excited to bring that back. And then on 25th and Broadway in the Ace Hardware, we're going to do a tribute to VJ Records. And for this one, what we really wanted to focus on was the 2 founders of VJ Records, Vivian Carter and James, I forget his name, I'm sorry. So we want to make sure that their faces are shown for that specific reason, so that we remember their names. As well as when you share the history of VJ Records, it's amazing. It's almost like the soundtrack of Happy Days. Every song that played on Happy Days is almost came from VJ Records. So on the sides will be almost billboard style, but almost like marquee style. A little nod to the Palace Theater too, but marquee style of the artists and the songs that people are familiar with, like Duke of Earl, Duke, and it goes on and on. There's tons of them. So, at the Beatles, when I was talking to the owner of Ace Hardware, he didn't believe that the Beatles signed here in Gary, Indiana first. So these are histories that some of us know, but the youngsters don't. So one of the reasons why we wanted a more contemporary, colorful, vibrant energy is so that the youth, when they're taking selfies by this wall, they'll look at the name, and they'll be like, where have I heard that before? And they'll lean back and hopefully pops or grandpops will pull out a record.
Mr. Muhammad, thank you very much. You are a tremendous asset, not only to Gary, but to the whole Indiana, Northwest Indiana region. We look forward to all these murals you're going to be doing. All I ask is that when you get ready to unveil them, that we have, we know that when you're going to do this one, when you're going to unveil this one, so we want to be there. And I'm just wanted to say that to you and to everybody else that came here on the arts. Today was an arts meeting today. Flowers, trees, painting, just artistic. And this is what we need in conjunction with all the other economic things that are happening in Gary. We need art stuff so it can tell our history and tell our story. So with that, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Thank you so much, and we'll be looking forward to your work. Hello. We now move on to new business, Resolution 7560, Mr. Harris.
Okay, there it is. Okay, that was odd. It's never done that before. It was green and red at the same time. All right, thank you, President Stalling. Resolution 7560, a resolution by the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing a standard RFP for simple property transactions. So we made some modifications to our RFP template to streamline our process and our efforts to be able to offload sites that we own, whether the City of Gary owns or the Gary Redevelopment Commission. And I don't know if Attorney Jenkins, if you wanted to give a few more details about legally, what we're looking to do here to make sure that we're able to ramp up and scale up our efforts.
Sure. So the purpose of Resolution 7560 is just to create a very simple template that you guys will approve that will allow us to just kind of go forward for very simple property transactions. We're thinking of things that are like maybe like a small lot or something like that, or a small house, nothing that will require substantial development. But, it's just kind of to streamline the process, because currently, as it's in our policies and procedures, like we kind of have to come before the board to get an RFP issued. And for simple, small property transactions, we'd rather not go through that. We want to move at the speed of business to kind of keep things moving. But after we issue the RFP, everything will still come before this board for final approval. But this is just to streamline this process for small property transactions. Bigger developments will still come before our board to even talk about in executive session or bring it before we get formal permission. But this is just kind of for just small property transactions that we're thinking very small, like dollar amounts or very small lots, things like that. And that's kind of the background of this resolution. And we're asking you guys to just approve the general template that was in your packet. And that's kind of the general form it will be in every RFP. And we'll just kind of switch out the parcel number, legal description, and property address, and then whatever the average of two appraisals are, things like that. But that would just be a simplified process. And like I said, it will still come before the board for final approval.
Okay, I know we might have some comments or questions. The chair will entertain a motion for the passage of resolution number 7560. Only for discussion.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? We have Commissioner Wesson, followed by Commissioner Rogie.
You can go first, Mr. Rogie.
Thank you. How large is small?
Thank
you. That's a very good question. We didn't really think about it as far as like a dollar amount, but it's just for like these kind of property transactions that don't require substantial development. We're thinking people who are like, it doesn't really fall into the category of our side lot program where it's a 25-foot lot, but it could be somebody who's trying to buy a property across the street from them, like a house or something like that, or an empty lot, something very small, nothing that will require substantial development. So that was the idea behind the resolution. So, again, you guys don't have to go forward with it. It's kind of whatever, but again, our issue is just to try to streamline the process, but maybe Chris wants to add more.
I
want to clarify.
Is it all just land, or are there some lands with buildings?
So for this opportunity to streamline our efforts, it would be limited to a single parcel. Now it could be an abandoned structure. Typically, a lot of the structures that we do own are severely blighted. But all the time, in our department, we get inquiries from individuals in the community that are seeking to acquire property, a vacant lot, maybe across the street from them, or it may not be contiguous to their parcel where they live, but it may be, private owner, and then our lot adjacent to that. So looking for opportunities to be able to streamline those efforts of making it simple. And even there's just some small scale developers or some homeowners looking to develop here in the city of Gary that just want, a buildable lot. And we're looking for an opportunity for the parcels that we do have that aren't contiguous, that are single in nature, as opposed to a larger development that requires more parcels, like greater than 2 acres. So less than 2 acres definitely is what this streamlining opportunity would entail, and it would be primarily for small residential projects or acquisition for those who live on the block.
Mr. Wesson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to say I'm never going to be an individual that hinders development. As you've seen, I'll be controversial. However, that being stated, when we talk about moving Gary forward, one thing that you've always noticed is constituents and developers want the city to move on their time. And I don't want this to be a situation in which we're not doing our due diligence. So I appreciate the efforts that we're taking, and I'm on board with making a more streamlined process. However, we have to justify line for line what is considered small, what is that excess, inside of that scope of the RFP, what is considered to go above that threshold, because the last thing I want to do is we make this huge announcement that it's going to be easier to develop in the city of Gary for small developments. Well, what's small? 30,000 is small for some developers. 30,000 is a lot for some. So when we discuss less than 2 acres, I can do commercial on 2 acres. But I really want to specify that I support this wholeheartedly. But we need to make sure that it is clean cut and linear as to what this actually does, so we can get it out to the public, to the developers, and say, this is what we're expecting, let's move forward. Because when we do these things, we want full speed. There's no more half speed no more. The melting momentum is here. So let's keep going, but let's make sure it's streamlined, clean, cut, and dry, so there's no questions asked why Gary's moving forward. That's it. Thank you.
Ms. Dunham?
So, Director Harris, so Attorney Jenkins said at the end of the day, so you're talking about making a form, but at the end of the day, whatever happens with this form, we have to approve it.
That's correct, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and just to clarify, right, it's just so we can kind of go forward and publish the RFP. The cost of that would be roughly $30 to $50 or something like that. That's just so we don't have to come before the board for that initial step. It would still come back once we get the proposals. That'll still come back before the board for you guys to rule on and things like that. And at that point, you could turn it down if you don't like what we get, and whatever happens from that point forward.
Okay, I like that, but at the same time, according to Councilman Wissington, we just want to make sure that when we put it out to the community, it's simple for them to understand, but it's simple but not misleading, thinking that one person might say something that's small. So the fact that it has to come back before us is important because it won't move it. So you all know some of the concerns we have now as you're vetting those people out, that they're going to ask this question, what's large, what's not large, or whatever. So you'll be able to answer and deal with those questions before it gets back to the commission, and that'll help it move a whole lot smoother. So I thank you for that. We move on to resolution number 7561. Mr. Harris?
Oh, wait, did we, yeah, wait.
Oh, I'm
Hold
sorry.
on, I'm sorry.
All right, I'm moving along. Roll call.
Commissioner Wesson.
No.
Commissioner Rogie.
No.
Commissioner Dunham.
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens. And President Stalling.
Yes.
The vote is 3 ayes and 2 noes. The motion passes.
I'm so sorry. Move on to resolution number 7561, please. Oh, I turned mine off.
Okay, now it's okay. Maybe it's getting ready on its last leg. All right. So resolution 7561 is a resolution by the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing and awarding real property to the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission to private owners for the City of Gary's My Lot property program. I don't know if Mr. Cleo would like to give details on the applicants in this round of site lot applications.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. So we do have 5 applicants that we're awarding properties to this evening. If they can approach to the microphone. First one is Mr. Carl Miner for the property at 539 Buchanan Street.
There we go.
Yeah, hello. Thank you. Supposed to tell y'all about myself?
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's okay. My name is Carl Miner. I own my property on 545 Buchanan Street, and what I do for a living, I'm a day trader. I trade options and stocks. But the property next to me been empty for quite a while, and there's a lot of trees on it. Now people are starting to park abandoned cars on it, and they cutting down the stuff, pushing it upside to my house. I was prepared to pay for it if I had to, but I just found out about this program that y'all offer. So I was trying to get the property so I could fence it in, clean it off, and I'm just gonna add garage and a driveway to my house to make the value go up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
That's it.
The next applicant is Stephen Craig Parnell at 2185 Taney Place. The president. Gregory Moreland for 98890 Stevenson. Looks like they're not present. Lakeisha Pointer for 213 West 47th Avenue. And Mr. Raymond and Cheryl Radford for 816 King Street.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Cheryl Radford. This is my husband, Raymond Radford, and we reside at 822 King Street in Gary. We've been there since 1999, and we are acquiring and want to get the property next door to us where the land. We've been cutting the grass since 1999. On our side, it's our house and our yard, and then it's the railroad tracks. And we also been taking care of across the street, which is the grass and by the railroad tracks. It has been trees over there we've had cut down. We use our money to have them cut down. Prior to that, we called the city and asked them if they can come and cut down tree limbs that was hanging close by our house. We didn't get no response, nothing against the city. We didn't get a response. We came out of our pocket for that. And then the neighbors across the street kind of got a little attitude with us because we had the bushes and trees and stuff cut down across the street by their house. Well, this is not their property. I told them it was city property. So every day I would team up with my husband when he would be off from work, and we would take the little dustpan scooper and pick up paper and bottles and everything. And I mean, we have a yard care company now that cuts our grass because that's a lot of grass and land. So we paid him an extra $50 a month added on to our bill to cut the grass over there, the city property, and we paid him out of our pocket to cut those trees down. And we paid him money to pick up all those bottles and paper and everything. I mean, it was piles of debris there. So we had all that done. So we're just asking if we could buy the property or have the property next door to us, because we like to be clean. And I go out sometimes and I go up and down the street on both sides of the streets, even by the neighbor's house where they have bottles and paper and stuff, and I pick it up. I just like cleanliness. So that's that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Those are all.
Okay. Let's roll call, please. Now, do you have a? Go ahead.
Well, this being my favorite program, I make the motion to approve the side lot program in total.
It has been moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wissington?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham?
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens? And President Stalling?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We now move on to resolution 7565. Mr. Harris.
Okay. All right. Thank you, President Stalling. Resolution 7565 is a resolution to the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission amending a consulting agreement with American Structure Point to provide a comprehensive feasibility study report to explore options for a future Fifth Avenue Complete Streets project. I'm accompanied by our city engineer, William Allen, to give more insight about this resolution and our consulting contract with American Structure Point and our Complete Streets project for Fifth Avenue.
Thank you. Hello, Commission. My name is William Allen. I'm your city engineer. And before you today is a amendment to an agreement that was previously approved. I believe the amount was around $98,000, and what it was to conduct a feasibility study for 4th and 5th, as well as Broadway, in order to make those corridors more safe. So that was them, the vendor or the consultant being American Structure Point at the time, taking a look at every intersection that's signalized and taking traffic data and counts and determining what improvements need to take place at those locations. This is before us now again because NDOT has a future resurfacing project for 4th and 5th between Bridge and I-65. And we thought that this would be a wonderful opportunity to revisit this feasibility study in order to make those corridors more safe. Again, the agreement was previously approved in the past. What we're asking for now is to reduce that scope, reduce that dollar amount to $55,800 as we're taking away, there's no longer a need to do a study for Broadway, since that would be a project that is programmed with NDOT. We're hoping in 2030, Lord Jesus. For the resurfacing of 4th and 5th, NDOT is preparing to conduct that work summer of 2026.
Commissioner Wessington.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. What was the initial amount? We're reducing it now to $55,800. What was the initial?
The initial was $98,076.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. And you say this reduction of nearly $30,000 is because of what exactly again?
We're removing Broadway.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions from commissioners? The chair will entertain a motion for resolution number 7565.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. Any other questions comments from commissioners? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wesson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie?
Yes.
Commissioner Denham?
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens? Commissioner Stalling?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we move on to resolution number 7566. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Stallings. Resolution 7566 is a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission accepting real property from the City of Gary for 469 Broadway. Want to give some context. 469 Broadway is the Mecca building here in downtown Gary, immediately south of City Hall. We were able to acquire that property from previous owner. The property had back taxes on that site, and it's our intention to be able to reclaim or actually claim this property for redevelopment so we can work with the Lake County to be able to clear the back taxes on the site so that we as a City of Gary / Redevelopment Commission own the property free and clear without any obligations or commitments associated with it. When the Redevelopment Commission acquires property, we have that ability to be able to remove those back property taxes for the sake of future redevelopment. And that's what's before you here today.
Are there any plans for that building after we reclaim it back to the redevelopment?
Yeah, so yes, I appreciate it, President Stallings. So that structure is planned and slated for demolition. It's the intent that for that site that we are able to offer that for future redevelopment opportunities. There isn't a specific project committed to that site currently, but we just want to make sure that we clear the runway for it to be redeveloped in the future.
All right, thank you. You heard Mr. Harris. What is the pleasure of the commission? I will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion. So moved.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any more questions or comments from commissioners?
Just one. I think I did some due diligence on the project. I want to say it was upwards to six figures in taxes that need to be cleared on there.
Approximately. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wissington,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham,
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens, Commissioner Stalling.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Resolution number 7567. Mr. Harris.
Yes, thank you. Resolution 7567, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing and approving a site access agreement for Family Community Center to access 1117 East 6th Avenue to perform renovations to existing structure. So I want to give more context. So in November 2024, we had the opportunity to hear Commissioner Clemens express his intent to help solve food insecurity here in the Emerson neighborhood. This is a commercial property that we do own as a redevelopment department or the redevelopment commission. It's the intent that we as the city of Gary has supported him in the effort of receiving a foundation a grant from the Knight Foundation to be able to help support food insecurity. This is a site that we have the ability to be creative with in collaboration with all the hard work that Commissioner Clemens has done in this neighborhood, of us being able to activate a site that we own to be able to help better the community and being creative. We have so many blighted vacant lots. Very seldom do we have small neighborhood commercial structures such as this. So this site access agreement is an opportunity that through the Family Life Community Center to be able to help improve this site on the Redevelopment Commission's behalf to be able to help serve the community.
1117 East 6th Avenue, what was it, a former building?
I can't say the exact name of the business, but it served as a small convenience store.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion for resolution number 7567.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. If there are not any other questions or comments from commissioners, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wissington,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham,
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens, Commissioner Stalling.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All righty. Resolution 7571. Mr. Harris.
Got it. Resolution 7571 is a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing and approving the blighted property demolition fund agreement between the City of Gary and the Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority. This resolution is intended for us to be working in collaboration with the Regional Development Authority. We have our team that's been working hand in hand after the contract was executed between the Regional Development Authority and our demolition contractor, Aegis, to help prepare for site remediation, all our phase 1 and phase 2 and hazardous material review and reports for structures in the downtown core. And this is an opportunity for us to be able to formally approve the opportunity in this agreement to work hand in hand with the Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority. And I wasn't sure if there was any additional feedback from Ms. Sharp. Okay, great. So, again, an opportunity to solidify in writing through our redevelopment commission to approve this demolition fund activity and working in tandem with the Regional Development Authority for the execution of Senate Bill 434.
Okay, you heard Mr. Chris Harris. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners?
Just one. Mr. Harris, so that allocation was $3 million into last year's budget, correct? It's a matching fund.
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So everything when it comes to funding Senate Bill 434 has been executed. This is just a formal agreement with the Redevelopment Commission that we're in tandem with.
So I just want to
the
ensure
activity.
the community knows that this is a matching grant, so we can expect that $3 million match that we allocated to be met.
It's already already been
perfect.
met.
So
Yes.
what does that look like? $6 million in blight elimination. Do we have perhaps a map that shows what we've done thus far? What's the plan going forward? Just so the community knows visually how far that money does go. I think sometimes people are unaware how much commercial demolition actually is.
Sure. Yeah. So actually, soon we should be able to share that information. There are a lot of nuances when it comes to the size of some of these structures.
Mhm.
We were able to work with the Regional Development Authority and our contractor, our lead demolition contractor, to price out the demolition of sites that we had wanted for demolition. We received costs back, so we're still finalizing exactly with the funding that we do have, what all we can execute.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Just a quick, go ahead, Rogie.
I make a motion. This is a very good step in the right direction to have an agreement with us and the Indiana Regional Development Authority.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any comments from commissioners? Dunham?
I just had a question about the makeup of the authority. What's the closest city close to us with a representative on that authority? I know it's Northwest Indiana.
So we have representation.
We do? Okay.
As the
Who
city
is
of
our-
Gary.
who-
Jeez, you caught me on the spot.
Okay, you could
I
tell
can
me
get you that
later.
information.
Okay.
Yeah.
AJ Bittner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
G-
yeah.
okay.
So also too. So AJ Bittner has a history here. He serves as the economic development director for the Regional Development Authority. But also there's a board, and I can get you the direct contact information for who is representing on our behalf on the
Okay.
Regional Development Authority's board.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, if there aren't any other questions or comments, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wesson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham?
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens? And President Stallings?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We're at the part of our agenda for action items. We have 3 action items. Will Chris in your office go over those action items for us?
Commissioner, President Stallings, there's one more.
Oh, 7572. Oh, for the powers, I thought we did. 7572, then we go to the action items.
Thank you, President Stallings. Resolution 7572 is a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing and amending the change order for Powers & Sons Construction Company for renovations at the U.S. Steel Yard. So we passed this resolution for Powers & Sons for their change order a few meetings ago. We discovered that there was a minor error in the dollar value. I believe it was $75. $79.66 difference. So in effort for that, we needed to create a resolution to just make sure we get that squared up so we can issue that change order.
You've heard Mr. Harris. The chair will entertain a motion for the resolution 7572.
So moved.
I make a motion to clear that up for $79.
This has been moved and properly second. Are there any other questions or comments from commissioners? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wesson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham?
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens? And President Stallings?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Harris?
Okay, all right. Thank you, President Stallings. So the action item that we have before you is requesting an opportunity to issue an RFP for what we call the Screaming Wills site at between 6021 through 37 Melton Road, and then it also includes parcel 6121 and 6131 Melton Road. In 2024, fall of 2024, we had the opportunity to generate appraisals for this site for future development. And it's our intent to have an opportunity for retail with an anchor component on this site. I could tell you already that there's just a lot of interest. There's interest across the city when it comes to Grant Street, but I could also tell you that there's interest when it comes to Melton Road. And we definitely have a qualified anchor that is very interested in being a part of this space. And we want to be conscious of our neighbors around this site that have already had momentum and their developments, and we want to be able to generate an RFP for this site to be able to keep the momentum moving forward, also giving us an opportunity to generate revenue so we can use those funds as we desperately need to help support other projects across the city. So just wanted to be able to get the commission's approval for generating an RFP for this site.
Will we have access to it before the RFP is sent out?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we could definitely do that. We could share that.
Please. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? The chair will entertain. Do we need a motion for that, Attorney Steve?
Yes, please.
Okay.
We
The
would like
chair
to have
will
a motion.
entertain a motion for the authorization to issue requests for proposals for property 6021 Melton Road, 6 through 37 Melton Road, 6121 Melton Road, and 6131 Melton Road.
I make that motion.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wesson.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham.
Yes.
Commissioner Clements. And President Stalling.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, all right. The next action item that we have in the log is the authorization to issue requests for proposals for 3716 Massachusetts Street. This site was triggered by an entrepreneur on the Broadway corridor whose business sits kitty corner to this vacant lot. There have been numerous dumping activities on this site. This individual has generated 2 appraisals that they have shared with our team to be able to generate an RFP for this site. Understanding for the public, just in case the public is not aware, that you also have the ability to find 2 certified appraisal companies here in the state of Indiana. If there's a parcel that you are interested in and you complete your letter of interest, that you do have the opportunity to acquire those appraisals, send them to us, and that can help trigger an RFP opportunity. Either way, in either scenario, you'd have to procure the appraisal costs because if we as a commission generate an appraisal or 2 appraisals, that those entities would be responsible for the costs for reimbursing us for that appraisal work. So there's just so many properties in the city that we just can't finance them all. So understanding that this individual has acquired those 2 certified appraisals for us to be able to generate an RFP on this site.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. What is the pleasure of the commission? Or the chair will entertain a motion for the authorization to issue a request for proposals for 3716 Massachusetts Street.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. Are there any other questions or comments from commissioners? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wesson.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham.
Yes.
Commissioner Clements. And President Stalling.
Yes.
Motion passes.
One more action item for us, Mr. Harris.
Awesome. Thank you. The last action item that we have on the agenda today is for an authorization to issue requests for proposals for both 455 Massachusetts Street and 120 through 38 East 5th Avenue. Both of these parcels are contiguous to one another. It's immediately south of the Hudson Campbell Fitness Center. An effort to be able to actualize our downtown revitalization efforts. This is a priority site that we like to prepare for during an RFP for a mixed-use development.
The chair will entertain a motion for authorization to issue requests for proposals for 455 Massachusetts Street, as well as 120 through 38 East 5th Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wesson.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogie.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunham.
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens, and President Stalling.
Yes.
The motion passes.
On to our director's comments. Chris?
Okay, yep. Thank you, President Stallings. So first off, I definitely want to, thank the commission. Yesterday, we had an awesome opportunity to be able to work and be side by side with the Notre Dame School of Architecture in the unveiling of our downtown master plan. We're very excited. It's something very special. I think that the commission should applaud themselves for our whole team that really worked hard, not only in being able to procure this. Yep. Not only able to procure this plan, but also we've already done the work when it comes to the Plan Commission and really angling the zoning 911 items that were recommended by the Notre Dame School of Architecture that's been spearheaded by Ms. Sharp as we prepare for our comprehensive plan update. So this is very meaningful. We are able to now publicly share on our website the opportunity for you to be able to understand where the direction is for downtown, where we're headed, what we want, the aesthetics of what we want. And we just ask that the community be able to plug in. So if you go to our Gary.gov website, you'll be able to see our newsletter and you'll be able to see the downtown Notre Dame plan there at your leisure. We also recorded that press conference on our City Gary government page on Facebook, and it should be uploaded on YouTube. So definitely encourage the public to engage. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to our office. And definitely appreciate the Gary Arts Council for being here, and I appreciate the commission's patience. There's a lot of positivity that is lining itself up on the Broadway corridor in downtown, and I know it was a lot today, but the reason why I wanted to make sure we invited them today and getting through all these presentations is because this work is going to be happening soon. Mr. Muhammad wasn't able to give the timeline, but he's preparing to do that before our next commission meeting. So I didn't want the commissioners to be able to be caught off guard for all of the activity that's going to be happening in downtown and in the Broadway corridor. That's the mayor's vision of really creating a sense of place for the Broadway corridor. It's our most heavily trafficked corridor. So that's our first impression. And then also, too, working with the Gary Arts Council, they've really jumped in, right into the water with helping us create activation opportunities for the downtown core. Sites that we've recommended that they help activate, they're already planning programming, and we just want to make sure that the public is aware of what we're doing. And then last but not least, wanted to reiterate that we're going to be having our downtown marketplace on the 500 block of Broadway the 2nd and 4th week of June, July, August, and September. If there are any vendors that are interested, you're more than welcome to reach out to our department. We're very excited. I think we have 11 or 12 already signed up that we're going to be having general orientation for tomorrow. But this is something special because we haven't experienced our downtown in this way for many years. Also in collaboration with Commissioner Clemens and all his work at Family Life. We're going to be able to see momentum and activity along with Brightview. We're going to be modifying, getting that information for the commission with the breakdown of costs so we can start getting the scope of work out there with the intention of getting this work complete, hopefully by the end of July. The murals that we're talking about are going to also be complete roughly at the end of July. So you're going to start seeing a lot of positive visualizations on the Broadway corridor. This is going to create a sense of place. Last thing, an update for the illuminated signage on Broadway. We've been working with our city engineer. I got an update last week that also the illuminated signs are going to be wrapped up sometime in late June. So all of this is going to kind of happen at once. So just wanted to make sure that the commission was aware, that the public was aware, and it's something to be excited about. So, thank you.
Absolutely. Danny, absolutely. We move on to our board comments. Ms. Dunham, any comments today? Councilman Wissington?
Just thank you all. I appreciate this commission. I appreciate your leadership, expertise. I pretty much know everybody here, and I just appreciate the community. So thank you for having me.
Mr. Rogie.
Well, if Lawan doesn't have any comments, I'll make. Do you do? Yeah. Okay.
To Mrs. Dilworth, yes. Smith, can't forget that. You said that earlier. I am impressed by your presentation and the crew that you brought in today. By me having like a blended family, and we have two that are graduating that we adopted, I would suggest that you all look into utilizing the Department of Child Services for the arts, because you have per diems for children to utilize gymnastics, arts and crafts. It just has to be a professional. It has to be something that's presentable and something that, a family can put their dollars to, and the parents actually get reimbursed for it. So they're not really paying for it. So simple things like, because I've been down that pathway, dodgeball, kickball, for each district, competitions that you all could put together where parents can say, well, we got $25 for our kids to register and be a part of these teams, and it'd be Midtown against, this and this and that. And so we got the little shirts on and stuff like that. One other thing, the parade, we didn't hear the drums, we didn't hear the horns. Parents are willing to pay for their child just to hit a drum. We don't have to have the horns, but just to walk down the street and beat a drum. Just give us something to invest in, and you can raise money. One thing I always say, a tree never uproots itself from the ground and dumps its apples in a basket. We come and pick it. If you give us something viable, we'll come to you. You won't have to sell us anything. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And I just got a 1 minute worth of comments. First of all, I want to welcome Councilman Wesson to the board. I think that makes a big difference when we have a appointee from the council that allow us to work together. He can let us know what's going on the council side, and we're on the redevelopment side. We have an opportunity to iron things out. And to Chris in your department, I'm gonna give you all big applause for the whole Notre Dame downtown. We gave the community meetings. We had an opportunity to come out, voice their opinions, and those are some of the things that have been lacking in the city for whatever reason, having the community involved and to say so about what goes on in their community. So as long as we stay on that track, making sure that we inform the community as to what time we're going and what are we doing and what time we're going to do it, I think we'll get a better support. And we're getting a lot of support, but it's so important that we make sure that the community knows what we are doing. And with that, the chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.